social media. But the best marketing is a good product or service, and I think we all know that. It's very cliche, but when we think about it, just have a great product and just treat people really well through social channels or otherwise, and you're going to do a great job. Everyone always asks. And this just drives me crazy. I talked a little bit about a lot of the people that will call and say, Heather, how much would it cost for you to come in and just help me set up my Facebook page? It won't cost you anything. If you're a friend, I'll do anything for you. I don't charge people. I actually can't. I'm legally contracted through my organization not to charge anyone to do anything. But I want more sales. I want more referrals. I want to make this happen. I want to grow my business through social media. It will not. And I always sound like the naysayers. Like, come talk about social media and motivate us. I'm like, no, it won't. But it will not do anything for you if you don't use the tools properly, and it won't guarantee absolutely anything. My grandfather is on Facebook and Twitter. He doesn't get anything out of it. He just watches people from afar. I know a ton of people that send me spammy Twitter message after spammy Facebook message after email after newsletter I didn't sign up for. And in fact, it creates a negative impression for me on their business or their individual self or their brand. So no, it won't guarantee sales or referrals. But there are a couple things it will absolutely help you to do. And these things are the things I get absolutely so excited about. 1, knowledge. I joke about my grandfather. I say he doesn't get anything from it, but he does. Because he learns what I'm up to. He learns what his friends are up to. Now, he's not really adding to that conversation, and that's fair because that's his choice. He decides that I just want to learn things, and he learns. I learn from people all the time. I don't email them back. I don't send them a Twitter message back, but I learn from them. There are people that still I'm too intimidated to talk to because they're so wonderful and talented that, you know, self-esteem aside, I just don't feel like I'm in their category yet. But I think they probably would listen if I reached out. I can earn people's trust. I can add to the conversation and have people say, well, if Heather said so, maybe. Maybe not 100%, but maybe. And I can build relationships, and this is fundamentally the most important part, because without being able to build a relationship, I'll never have trust. And without having a relationship with someone, who are they to impart knowledge on me? They don't want to share with me. They don't know me. So here's the question that we're all here to ask. I'm interested. Here's the line. I might dip my toe in the water. I'm not sure, so how do I get started? And the most important part, ladies, and this is honestly, if I can leave you with absolutely nothing else, it's just to find the right fit. Find what's going to work for you. And I've got some ways to help you figure out what that is. There's a big toolbox. That slide has absolutely no purpose, but I just like the toolbox. I'm going to be honest. Look at them. Look, they're all in there. They all look exciting. Okay, so consider the following. Your customers. Consider your time commitment. And your content. Vague? Yes. So let's talk about them really quickly. Who are your customers and how are you trying to reach them? Who are they? Are your customers like the toilet paper customers I talked about earlier? Are they moms between 25 and 45, 55? What are their buying behaviors? Where are they spending their time? Your time. How much do I have to spend? Am I a sole proprietor? Do I already work 45 hours a week? And am I trying to find an extra 5? Or do I have 3 or 4 days a week that I can spend on trying to build content and interact with people and get to know people? Chances are you're in the former and not the latter. I know very few of us have a whole lot of extra time kicking around on our hands. And then content. What do I have to talk about? What do I have to share? What is my area of expertise? So a few final thoughts. And actually, I don't want to do that yet. I want to talk about this for one more second. But everyone's going to say, what is it? Is it Twitter? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Is it a blog? Should I start a blog? I hear this all the time. What if I started a blog? And my blog was called, I knit. I sell knitted goods, or, yeah, I can't knit, but maybe I sell knitted caps and scarves and beautiful things. But all I do is knit. And in order to make my bottom line, I need to knit 100 scarves a week. And I knit 100 scarves a week now, and I'm still looking for time. I should not start a blog about knitting. That is the absolute last thing I should possibly ever do, is start a blog about knitting, because I'm not going to be able to find enough time in that week to write something meaningful and thought-provoking that other people will look at and go, wow, I agree. Unless you have this huge passion for writing and you're willing to abandon something else in your life in favor of writing, don't write a blog about knitting, because you're not going to have the time to A, update it, B, share it with people, C, interact with the people that actually do write you back and say, hey, I loved your blog about knitting. Because if you don't have time to write back to the people and communicate with the people that loved your knitting blog, they're not going to love your knitting blog for much longer. They're going to go away. Or they're going to go find another knitting blog where the person will talk to them about the backstitch. Is there a backstitch? I made that up. I know nothing about knitting. I would love to learn though. So if there's a mentoring group for knitting, that seems like something that could fit in really nicely too. But if you do like to knit, you might be able to find a remarkable group of other people that love to knit on Twitter. And you might share really short messages, and every day you might send 5 short messages about your latest accomplishment or your passion for the backstitch. I don't know what that is. But you might be able to find yourself a little nice network there. So let's have a few final thoughts, and then I'm going to open it up to questions. I think that that's where we're going to get the true value of the presentation. You have to think strategy before you talk about the tools. And I think I've hammered that home successfully enough to say that don't look to Facebook before you think about what you've got the time to do, the content you've got to offer, and, God, my other point, time, content, and who are your customers. Thank you so much. Someone was listening. I'm excited because I'm not here and I'm not up there. So think strategy before you get hooked on the tools. So where can you find your people? Rome was not built in a day, so please don't give up. Every day people give up something on social media. I tried to look the other day for a Twitter account that I really wanted for my business, and it wasn't available. And I looked to say, oh, who's got it? Or at least they're really good at doing something good with it. They'd had like 4 posts. But I can't have that account because somebody that thought they were going to post 4 things once upon a time in 2008 has it instead. So don't leave it and abandon it and then let it rot. Be real. Scott Monty of Ford, and I am not a Ford person. My boyfriend runs Moncton Chrysler Dodge, and I can't even pretend like I like a Ford vehicle. But he said people would rather have a conversation with a person, not a brand. People don't want to talk to Lymbix. I love Lymbix. My life is Lymbix. I've surrendered myself essentially to all that is Lymbix. But people don't want to talk to Lymbix. What the heck's a Lymbix? But they want to talk to Heather, and they understand that I'm part of Lymbix, and they may eventually say, oh, what do you do at Lymbix? But they don't want to talk to Lymbix. Let's be realistic here. I love this slide. Let's just take a moment to laugh, because it's actually very funny. Like, you've got to watch your tone when you're communicating with people. For someone that spends the better part of my time marketing tone check, I'm very conscientious about tone, but not just that. You have to listen. You have to engage with people. You have to be personal and creative and honest. And these are a lot of buzzwords. I was sort of rehearsing this presentation with this new kid I hired to work on social media. He's really excited. He's right out of college. All he wants to do is be on Twitter. He's so happy he gets to do his job on Twitter. And I said, he goes, that's a lot of buzzwords, Heather. He called me out. I said, you know what, you're probably right. Those are a lot of buzzwords, aren't they? But they're all true. Listen. When you see something that's interesting, engage with them. While you're engaging, be personal. Be Heather, don't be Lymbix. Be creative. If you have something funny to say, be funny. If you have something interesting to say, be interesting. But most importantly, be honest. Because people see through corporate crap so easily. We all know that. And keep at it. Blogs are abandoned. Fan comments are left unanswered. Twitter feeds just abandoned and inactive. That is my personal pet peeve, as you realize. And what does that honestly say to your network and to your customer? I didn't have the time to write you back. I didn't read your comment. You sent me a message, I didn't pay attention. So keep at it. And finally, social media doesn't guarantee sales, but here's the high point. A great product or service, let's be realistic. A great reputation, we talked about reputation. And a relationship, an honest to goodness relationship with your customer will. me that we'll start with a conversation.